Well, good afternoon everyone, and welcome to another podcast. It's just after the few hot days we've had, and we cancelled everything during those days, to be fair, so I've not been out. But we've got at last a drizzly, grey, cooler day, so it's lovely to be out on the river. Something a bit different today. I'm going to have a go with a streamer on the river, something I really enjoy. But I don't think I've done a podcast on it before. This particular bit of river I'm on at the minute, a mixture of kind of a few riffles, a few currents and glides, and some deep pools as well. So there's some big trout in here, there's some grayling, and there's apparently the odd chub, and even rumours of a perch. So I've got a black woolly bugger on. I've got a 9-foot 5-weight rod, and then I've put a little sinking poly leader on. I've cut it down to 5 or 6 foot, and then about another 4 or 5 foot of good 8-pound mono, and then a woolly bugger on. So that it effectively just puts a little bit of a sinking tip on. 2 reasons: one, obviously it's going to get the fly down a little bit, but 2, just let it dig in the water and not so it doesn't swing across as quick in the faster water. But streamer fishing is wonderful fun, and not something that's that widely done, although more people are deciding to have a go at it. It's a very exciting form of fishing. The takes are normally savage, as the fish really smash the fly. It can catch some big fish as well, because obviously predatory trout that are feeding on other fish tend to be bigger. And it can catch some unusual stuff as well. So like I said, you can pick up chub and perch and all sorts really. I'm stood above a riffle at the minute, a nice wide piece of river. It's probably 30 or 40 foot across, although there's a few big bars of gravel that are exposed now in the summer levels. The river's low. It's a grey, drizzly day, so good fishing conditions. I'm just going to get this streamer going and work it across this riffle to start off with, and explore some of the deeper pool below it, and see how I get on. I'll just unhook myself and get a little bit of line out. I'll start fairly short and just do a bit of a roll cast and get it coming across the riffle. Just let the current do its thing at the beginning, and then I will also probably start to put a bit of movement in the line as well, and just work the fly a bit in the stiller water. It's always had a bit of a reputation, streamer fishing, I guess. Obviously we've got that history in fly fishing in this country, and traditions as such, and people just don't really do that much of it, and it's a shame, because it's a fantastic way to fish, really enjoyable, something a bit different, and it's exciting. I'm just working a bit more line out and giving the fly a bit of movement now. I mean, I do, as you know, quite a bit of salmon fishing, so this isn't really alien to me. I guess it's just really more salmon fishing in miniature. And it gets you doing a variety of casts as well. I've just done a double spay cast there, and I'll be doing some single spay, some overhead, some rolls. I'll be doing all sorts of different casts to get the fly working and get it over to different bits of river. And that little sinking tip's just doing the job here, just digging it in, and there we are. Mending the line a bit as well to control the drift. Right, I'll take a couple of paces down. Now we obviously this time of year fairly busy, so we had some guided and tuition days that we've we had to rearrange with that hot weather. Wouldn't have been fair on the fish to be out, and not fair on us either, really. So, or not fair on clients either. So, I had a bit of a week in the office, and I've been out doing some tuition this morning. Then I just thought I'd come and do the podcast and have a bit of a fish this afternoon, just for a couple of hours. And I've done a bit of streamer this year already, just on my own, and had some nice fish. So it can go either way, can't it? We'll see if anything wants to take the bait today. Alright, keep moving down the run. It's quite shallow here, so what I'm really wanting to do is, if I just keep wading down, I'll fish through the shallower stuff, see if there's like a little bonus trout in there. But as I really want to get this sinking tip just down into the deeper pool, just below me, just off the riffle. It really deepens up there. It's kind of waist height. So if I can just work the fly through those pools, that's where I'd hope to maybe encounter something. We'll see. Can see the fly actually working through the water. It's got a bit of an extra long, slightly oversized marabou tail on this one, just to give it a lovely action in the current, and it really does look good. It really does look like a little fish just skating across the river. Right, let's just skip this and get into this again, faster water here, and just explore this, and then I'll be not far off the bit I'm really wanting to get to. Right, what we're going to do here, double spay. There we are. Seems to be a few nice grayling around at the minute. I had a lovely big one on at tuition this morning, a real fat thing. And before the hot weather as well, we're getting a few nice grayling out. It seems to be, they're really in the mood at the minute. There's about 20 or 30 ducks to my left of different varieties, all just resting on a little sandbank, watching me fish through. And it's a lovely piece of river, this. It's, again, as the all around here, it's trees on both banks and meadowland, and it's quite wide. I say it varies between maybe 20 to 30 feet up to 40 or even 50 feet in places when it's really wide. So there's lots of different character to the water, plenty of runs and riffles and deep pools, bit for everyone and everything. You can fish with a streamer on here, you can fish with a nymph, spiders, you can find some lovely bits of dry fly water. I say every style of fishing can be done on here. Alright, keep working down a touch. I can smell in the air, there's the smell of food cooking from the hotel, I think, and it making me rather peckish. I strip this one across the river fairly quickly. Bit of change of speed. And then this one I'll let the sinky tip get down, do a couple of mends to get it right down, then I'll do a slower kind of retrieve, I guess, bit of movement. So I tend to make the fly move in the slower bits of the river, and you can definitely fish a streamer through the slow bits, the deep bits, but it's also really effective in the very fast bits of almost white water. And in those bits of the river I tend to let the current move the fly and just let the fly rip across, or dance with the current, as it were. Right, I'm just getting into the deeper zone now. Take a couple of paces down. I'll just have a quick look at the fly and just check it's all looking all right. Yeah, looks good to me. Right, a few more paces. There we go, starting to deepen up now, up to my knees. A little trout just risen right next to me. It's been raining pretty hard all morning, I have to confess, and my waterproof coat wasn't so waterproof. It's gone from feeling absolutely sweltering hot about 2 or 3 days ago to actually, when I got wet earlier, I'd only got a shirt on underneath and feeling slightly cold. And just tickling this fly, just giving it a little bit of movement, but just wanting it to get down a bit. And a couple of yellow mays just hatched off beneath me, and the river's turning into a nice kind of steady glide now. Bit of a ruckus amongst the ducks. It's just spitting my rain again. That's fine. I don't think there's many been out fishing over the last week or two with this warmer weather. It's not been fly fishing weather really. I'm just wading now. I can see the old bridge just down beneath me. It looks beautiful reflected in the river. It's getting fairly deep now. I'm up to my thighs. Left hand bank is just full of trees and bushes and quite dense undergrowth. There's lots of ducks and the odd dipper just working around the roots of the trees. Right, how deep does this go? Just edging my way down. It's fairly deep. There's a big family of ducks just coming up around my line now. I'm just going to have to be careful they don't take an interest in my fly or get close. Come on past you lot. Yeah, they come past me now, so I'll resume casting. Just needs, when you're not spey casting, just needs a little hole on the cast just to move that sinking tip and bigger fly, but it casts just fine on a 5 weight. I wouldn't want to go any lighter though. It wouldn't really, 4-weight wouldn't really do it. That's why I've just bumped it up. Normally if I'm fishing in the river I've got my 4-weight, but I've just bumped it up to a 5 just for the type of fly I'm using. Alright, one more cast here and I'll see if I can get down any further. No. I've just prodded with my wading stick in front of me and it's disappeared, so this is definitely the furthest I can go. So what I'll do is try and put a longer cast out just to cover a bit of extra water. Right, come on then. There we go. Right, this one, just for a bit of fun, I'm going to do a super fast strip and just see if there's anything wants to attack it, and then I'll go back to something a bit slower. Right, I think I've about covered this now. What I'll do is wind in, make my way back up, get out, and then try and hit some of that river further down. I think if I'm honest, what I'm really hoping for today, if anything, is probably not a trout. I'd love to catch one of these mythical chub that are meant to frequent this part of the river. I don't think there's many, but I think there's the odd one or two slightly bigger ones. Something like that is what I'm searching for. Obviously I'm not going to turn my nose up at anything, but I've caught lots of trout over the years, obviously on all sorts of different fly fishing methods, so it'd be lovely to be able to catch something a bit different. Right, a bit of a wade back up here. I'm going to wade through all this fast water I've just fished down. I think one of the things it's known as streamer fishing on rivers. That's just what it's become known as, I think, because that's what it's called across in the States where they do a lot of it. But the reason it's not taken off as much here is just because of the traditions of dry fly and things like that on the river. And I guess there's, I would say, a misconception that people think it's just easy. You're just going to put on a big woolly bugger and pull all these fish out. There's no skill, but I don't think the fish are particularly easier to catch. Yes, probably once your fly's in the water, there's maybe, apart from mending the line to understand how the fly is moving, you're not having to kind of manage the line as it's coming back to you or anything. But in terms of casting, it does test you. You've got to be able to put out spay casts, roll casts, double spays, overhead casts. You're going to have to put a haul in from time to time, as I was. So it can take you a bit out of your comfort zone as well, and just surprising sometimes, especially when you're fishing a little sink tip, about the skill that is required to actually get the fly where you want it. Each to their own. As you know, I like all types of fly fishing, from nymphs to dries through to big streamers like this, saltwater, pike, whatever. It's the method that I enjoy. But if you just enjoy dry fly, then just do dry fly. Isn't it? There's no. I guess that's the beauty of fly fishing, is that we can all find the little sub-genres, as it were, or the little techniques and the methods we enjoy, and go off and do them. I'm just walking back through the meadow. I'm just going to get in above the bridge and just have maybe a scoot and a cast across the stream here. And then it's fairly deep below the bridge, but I'll try and get a fly down there as well. Just careful. careful. It's a bit greasy on the bank at the minute, so although I've got my tungsten studs in, I don't really fancy slipping over. So I'm side casting, slotting it under the trees at the minute, and then just giving it a strip back under the trees. And I would imagine if anything is going to grab that, it's going to be pretty much instant. Right, let's have a wander down, see how far downstream I can get before it gets probably a bit too deep. It's fairly rocky here, so the wading's not as easy, but the bridge is absolutely spectacular in front of me. It looks small from a distance, then when you get close, it's a beautifully made big bridge, this. It's just starting to deepen up again. There's a big patch of bog rhubarb, which is out everywhere at the minute. It seems to be more than usual. It's a lovely plant. It reminds me of my childhood. I don't know why. Come on, get out there somewhere. There we go. There's a fish just risen right off the far bank, like literally 2 inches. It's only a little one. You couldn't really get any closer to the bank without beaching yourself there. Let me try and wade down a little more. Is it going to be deep? Yeah, too bad there. Rocky though. Very awkward. Going to let this sink tip dig in a bit now, just get down a touch. It's almost like a painting in front of me, really. You've got the lush green bog rhubarb and all the trees, and the old bridge, and the old bridge has got loads of bushes and trees growing out of it, and there's buddleias and rocks in it, then it's all reflected in the water. So I've got the mirror image of the bridge and all the vegetation. You don't really notice it as much when you're fishing. I've only just realised how pretty it is. So busy thinking about the fly and where I'm fishing, I'm not really looking at where I am. It's stunning. I guess it could go either way today. Something spectacular could happen, or it could well be I'll be well and truly skunked and not even have so much of a pull. But that doesn't bother me at all. It's trying to catch something a bit different, or I've caught so many fish out of this river on, I don't want to say normal flies, but you know what I'm saying. It's just nice to do things, mix it up, keep it interesting. Right, can I get any further down? I'll see. It's starting to deepen up a bit here. That's okay. It's a bit silty though. Don't want to kick up too much of this silt, otherwise if I stir it up too much, I'll just put the fish down that are potentially beneath me. Right, let's fire one out towards this bog rhubarb. There is as all rivers, there's a mythical pike that lives somewhere. I don't think it's ever been caught. But obviously where I am, or where I live, everything's trout and grayling, so coarse fish in the river, well, the rivers where I fish are few and far between, so it's unusual to catch different things. But yeah, there's rumours afoot of a mythical pike that lives in these waters. But I guess you get that in quite a few rivers, don't you? Especially near a bridge. I don't know why, but the bridge pool is always the kind of legendary pool where there's a mythical fish. Right, I'm going to have a couple more chucks here, and then I'll see if I can have a fish below the bridge. I know it's very hard wading there, but I can probably have a cast off the bank and swing one across. And then I'm not sure where to go. I'll have to have a think. So I've just waded under a second bridge, and normally the river would be gushing through here, but there's a really big bridge pool here. Not fished very well recently, but there's some very deep spots. I think this might be a good place just to run the streamer through. So I'm facing downstream and almost stood under the bridge with the pool beneath me. Oh, there's a nice rise over there actually. So I'm going to fish the tongues of water as they come out the bridge, and also there's a big bit of scummy water with lots of stuff floating on it. It's all congregating, so I'll try and rip a through there as well. I'll just see if anything's going to play ball through here. Deep though here, really deep. There's a kingfisher just flew right past me. It's come out under the arch of the bridge and must be about 4 foot away from me, just zipped past me. That was nice. Right, nothing interested there, so I'll move on to the next arch in the bridge. See if I can drop a cast over there. It's a bit uneven underfoot here, it's proper jarring. Let me just secure my fly before I wade across. I tried this in the higher water at the beginning of the year and it didn't work, so the river's nice and low at the minute, so I should be able to get across. Yeah, I should be able to do that, I think. Ooh, bit of a hole there. Alright, here we are. Lovely piece of water this. As you can hear, it's racing under the bridge, and then there's a bit of a sill and a drop off and a lovely deep pool. I mean, I know there's fish in here. Like I say, it's not fished brilliantly recently, so we'll see if anything wants to have a look at this. Now, it's pretty loud here, I'm not sure how well, hopefully you can still hear me. I'm just twitching it through the still water and then casting it into the big tongues of white foamy running water and letting the current do the job in those. So just hoping something's going to make a grab. And, at least the wagtails are having some success. There's a few flies hatching, they're working happily above the water there. Well, I think one more cast in this deep pool and then I've got a couple of more runs to my left and then I'm about out of water, so you can see the fly, it looks lovely. Right, some really fast stuff here, proper white water, so let's see if there's anything in the quick stuff, eh? You can probably barely hear me above that water. So I'm stood under the arch of the bridge and I've got trees and willows and tufts of grass and there's ranunculus around my legs and the water's gushing past me. It's a lovely place to be. Just trying to work a bit more line out. I've moved away from the tongue of water a little bit. I've seen a fish rising, but I don't think it's going to... I'll try and put my fly over it, but I don't think it's going to be interested. It's just sipping on flies, so I want something that's hiding down in the bottom, waiting to ambush. It's the kind of fish I'm looking for, really. Well, I'm just going to nip the zonker off and then have a cast or two with the woolly bugger again, and I think I'll be about done. Right, I'll just drop this out and have 5 minutes with a different fly, you never know. Oh, I had a pull at last. Not connected with it, but I just swung it down the swung it around the lip of the pool. Is often a really good place, and just let it skate round, and felt like a really good fish actually. It's just bent the rod right over and had a kick, felt a kick or two, and then it's obviously just nicked it and it's come through. That's a shame. Never mind. That was a really good fish. Oh. So I'm just having a few last casts before I get out. I can't get to fish downstream, so I'm actually fishing upstream, and I've just had another big bump. That's 2 really good whacks in the last 10 minutes. Just not connected with it. It's so slow here that upstream or downstream is not making a huge difference to how the fly is presenting. It's probably getting a little deeper here, if anything. That last one just then, it was on, and again it felt like a very nice fish. Could feel its head shake, that slow thumping head shake from side to side, instead of that scrappy little speedy run, and you know you're into something bigger, but it slipped the hook again. Well, a couple more casts and I'll be done, I think. Let's just whack one over the far side. There we go. Let that dig in a touch and then give it a twitch back. Well, I think that's me done. What a lovely afternoon. Something a bit different with the streamer. It's been really exciting stuff actually. And last half an hour, them two, one that was a really good thump, and then that last one just now, just on and thumping head shakes, and then obviously not going to be my day today, and I've been pretty much skunked by the fish, but that's the way it goes. It's you win some, you lose some. But it's been really good, and I'll definitely come back and have another try with this on this bit of river, because I'm determined to get into some of these more unusual fish. Thank you so much for listening. It's always a pleasure, and don't forget, if you want any more information on our fly fishing lessons or guiding, it's www.peaksflyfishing.com, or for our shop with all the flies and tackle, it's shop.peaksflyfishing.com. Until next time, thank you and goodbye.